and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you how to make pumpkin pie spice meringue cookies. Now, I'm sure you've seen many different meringue cookie recipes out there, but today I thought I would make something a little bit different and something in season. So most definitely Halloween is just around the corner, autumn is soon approaching, and so I thought this would be the perfect recipe for this time of year. So what we have here are 3 egg whites. Now I have left them at room temperature for about half an hour, so you want to make sure you do that. And we're going to be using a pinch of salt. Here I have 3/4 cups of regular white granulated sugar and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Now I do have the homemade recipe to make pumpkin pie spice on my channel, and I will leave the link in the description box below, so that will be there for you if you want to make a big batch for yourself or a small batch, whatever you like to have on hand. But you can also buy some at your local grocery store if you are short on time or you don't have all of the ingredients to make it. So that's perfectly fine too. I'll be making this in my standing mixer. Most definitely you can use your handheld electric mixer as well, and it'll make life much easier. So let's move on to making our meringue cookies. Okay, so you also want to make sure that you have your oven preheating to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our egg whites into our bowl. As I said, make sure they're at room temperature for about half an hour. Make sure you have your oven preheating at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we're ready to rock and roll. So let's add in our egg whites. Okay, and we're going to mix our egg whites until they are frothy, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so this is exactly how you want your egg whites to be before we add in the next ingredient. This is what I mean by frothy, where it's nice and foamy here. So now what we're going to do is into my sugar here, okay, I'm going to add in my pumpkin pie spice. And then I'm just going to take a spatula, spoon, whatever you have on hand, and mix it so that it's all throughout the sugar. Okay. Alright, so that's good enough. Now we'll add in our pinch of salt. Okay. And now, while we are beating our egg whites, we are going to add in our sugar 1 tablespoon at a time, continuously beating. Alright, so once you have added all of your sugar and a pumpkin spice mixture, you want to now allow it to mix on high speed for about 7 to 8 minutes. Now it does take a few minutes, but it will be worth it in the end, trust me, and it is necessary to do this so that we allow our sugar to dissolve in our egg white mixture. So once you notice that it is nice and glossy, a nice glossy finish, you can just dip your finger in there, a nice clean hand, and dip a little bit and rub it between your fingers. Once you notice that you don't feel any more of the sugar granules, then you are ready to pipe them and place them into the oven. So let's mix on high speed. Okay, so my meringues here have been beating for about 7 minutes. Now I'm just going to do the check here. And you know, I'm not feeling any granules of sugar. The only thing I feel is a little bit of the pumpkin pie spice, which is totally normal and will not completely dissolve in this mixture. So we are ready to pipe our meringue cookies. I'm going to get a piping bag, and I will be using tip number 1M by Wilton, and most definitely you don't need any tips. You don't even need any piping bags. You can use a large Ziploc bag and just keep refilling it, because that's what I'm going to do with my piping bag. And now I'm going to show you how I like to prepare my cookies. Okay, so now I have my meringue mixture here with my piping tip on here. And now there's no right or wrong way of making these, and you can make them as big or as small as you like. So depending on the size of your meringue cookie, it will depend on how many you will have in the end. So very simply, okay, so I've made a few of these designs, but I want to make a few different ones as well. So now I'm going to be using Wilton tip number 12. Okay, so I have a new piping bag. I'm going to do the same process, cut it at the tip, fill it up, and then I'll show you how I make these as well. Okay, so I just added another little small piece of parchment paper here so I could add the remaining cookies and not have two pans, just because of a few. So now I'm going to place this into my preheated oven at 225 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour, and then after 1 hour I will close the oven and I will leave the door open a little bit, and I'll put a wooden spoon there and leave the meringues in the oven for an extra 15 minutes, stove off but door opened, with a wooden spoon holding it open. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll let you know what they look like once they're done. Okay, so my pumpkin spice meringue cookies were in the oven for exactly 1 hour at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I shut off my oven. I put a wooden spoon on the side of the door so that we can let the air out, and I left it like that for 15 minutes. So as you can see, they are just perfect. Okay, so now we're going to try one. Just the bottom is just perfect. Okay, and they are just amazing. The center is nice and marshmallowy. It is just perfection. The outside is that perfect crunchy meringue, and on the inside it's that marshmallowy, just deliciousness. You can taste that hint of pumpkin pie spice in the background. It's not overpowering, it is just perfect. So that's about it. Very simple to make. Now just make sure that you keep your meringue cookies in an airtight container so that they're always super crunchy on the outside and super marshmallowy in the middle. So to keep its perfect consistency and texture, make sure you keep it in a nice airtight container. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a nice big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new and delicious recipe. So share the recipe with your family and friends and enjoy it. So I'll see you on my next video. Take care. Bye everyone.